Hello everybody, Angie here, coming on to put together my journal. I made last couple of videos. I took you through the process of putting together this journal cover. It's 6 by 9 and I don't think I want to add anything else to it, so it's ready to be put down on the actual journal page. So I thought I'd take you along with that. I appreciate you spending some time with me today and following along with this process. I'm having fun with it. I have chosen this tree bark designer series paper. I thought that would look really nice against that since there's such dark colors, and then it'll also accent the light in the lace as well. So that's why I chose that. I have already pre-cut my, it's kind of a middleweight poster board. I've cut it down to size, scored it. I gave myself a 1-inch spine. I do plan on putting 2 signatures in here. I'm gonna really try not to make this a gator mouth journal. I'm gonna try and keep it very simple and very just straight and, you know, writing journal. I'm not gonna try and put too much bulk in this one. So with that being said, let's move some stuff out of the way and get started. I'm going to pull my sleeves up here. Now these are just two 12 by 12 inch size pages, and if I did my calculations correctly, if I put these two together and cut it down properly, I will have enough for the outside as well as lining the inside. If I don't have enough for the inside, well, I am going to have to figure out something else and find another piece of paper for the inside. But I'm really hoping that I will have enough so the inside and the outside will match. I am going to just put these two pieces together with a piece of Scotch tape, because where this, again, if I've done this correctly as well, where this piece of paper the joining will be underneath the front cover, and it's not going to show anyway. So I'll put the tape on the underside, and you'll probably only see just a little sliver at the top and a little sliver at the bottom. And for the most part, that won't bother me at all. Now if I could just keep this in place while I tape it. So like I said, thank you for joining me today. I do appreciate it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And I'm just really trying to butt these two pieces up without having even overlap. Because like I said, I'm going to try and utilize this whole piece for the inside and the outside. Okay. Let's hope that does not shift on me. And for the most part, that turned out very well. Okay, just need to put a little piece right down here. I can get this tape off my fingertips. Okay, so let's get this baby covered. And I usually give myself about a 1/2 inch all the way around. I'm just going to use my grid lines on my mat here as guide. As you can see, I've got it lined up. And actually what I think I'll do is I'm going to bring in, I think it'll make it easier, at least for the start, I'm going to bring in my scoreboard. And I'm going to give myself a 1/2 inch score. Do a 1/2 inch there. And then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to start a 1/2 inch score line. My scoreboard isn't big enough for 24 inches, so as long as I have the start of it, kind of a guide, that's all I need. Okay. I think that will help to get it on and save the paper. See, so then I just line that right up with my score lines, and we're good to go. Let's give that a crease. Okay, and then let me make a mark here at this end. Let me slide this over so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just taking my time with this larger piece of paper because, like I said, don't want to waste any. I want to make sure I have enough for the inside lining because these are the only 2 pieces of this I have, and I would like to have them match if at all possible. Okay, so then I'm going to carefully bring this over snugly, give that a crease, and then I'm going to cut it 1/2 inch from that crease line. Okay, so I'll move this over. Well, I was going to bring my scoreboard in, but I don't need that. Okay, I'll just use my mat here. Straight, 1/2 inch. And this should be able to fit on the inside, I'm hoping. And then on here, let's bring that back in just in case I need another piece. Do the same thing. Make my crease line. And then cut it 1/2 inch from there. Line it up, 1/2 inch. I may need this piece as well, and hopefully, let's see. Okay, there we go. Reinforce those creases. And miter the corners. Miter, should I say miter the corners? I just do a little, excuse me, tried to hold that. And I just kind of come right to the edge, but not quite, and do a little curve cut. Like so. And all that does is just take away the bulk from the corners, so when you do the overlap of the folds, you don't get a lot of bulk in those areas. See? And it just lines right up for you really, really nicely. Okay. All right, so let's get that down. Okay, and I need some glue. So another week comes to the end. We have made it through the snow. I know some people got dumped on more than others. We got quite a large amount, got about 6 inches, I think, in my area. Hasn't melted away yet. The sun is out shining bright today. It's only about, high today is only about 35, so a little bit will get melted. That sun will help tremendously, but still snow-packed and icy and quite cold. But that, like I said, that sun makes all the difference. Okay, and I'm just trying to pull this nice and snug. Get a good crease. Okay, get that down. Glue in there. Okay. Good crease on those edges. And see how nice and neat those corners are when you do it like that? Just nice and flat and flush. Very nice. Okay. Here's our front. And let's see. Almost. Ha! So what I'm going to do is just piece the two together. That's just like that. And that's where this piece comes in. And we will just piece that together like so. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, I can put it either way. And then when I put this one on, this can actually be a side tuck if I wanted it to be. Nah. Okay, so let's flip it over so I can see. That pattern is kind of distracting. And pencil. Right about there. And then this one. So that will come this way. So I need to cut this one. The same. There. Okay. Let's push this to the side. Bring my cutter in. Trim this down. And trim this one down to same length. Just like that. And out of 2 12 by 12 pieces of paper, that's not too bad, huh? All right. Let's see if that's going to work, if I need to do any more cutting. That will go down there. And that will overlap right there. All right, I like it. Let's get it down. I'm going to start with just the corners. my way to the other end. Just a little bit at a time, pressing it down as I go. Work that glue around. Okay, and then this piece. Do the same way. Work it down inch by inch. Line it up. Okay. And unless you look really, really closely, it just blends right in. Fine with me. Not bad, and depending on how the back of the pages are decorated, or if they're decorated, may not even make a difference at all, which it doesn't anyway, but. Okay, work that down. Again, give that a press. All right. We're going to give that a second to set. Then we're going to find our spine score lines, and we're going to reinforce those. And in the meantime, if I can find my pin, which I don't see where it is, so we will carry right along. See that score line right there, and we're just going to slowly bring that up and reinforce those score lines. Should probably wait till the glue dries better, but who wants to wait for that? And I'm just bringing it up nice and slow, because as you can see, the paper kind of crinkles because the glue hasn't set all the way, so I'm just kind of slowly trying to work that paper so it doesn't crack or anything. That's all we're doing. And I'm going to bring it all the way over, line it up, and give it a good burnish. There we go. We're going to do the same with the other side. Bring that up nice and slow. Bring it all the way over to the other side. Nice and easy. and burnish. And there we go. How about that? All right. Then we can put the cover on, and that should just come right inside and fit right, nestle right in the like that. And Art Glitter Glue has been holding up for me so well up to this point. I am going to put this cover down on with Art Glitter Glue. So it doesn't really matter which is which. I just want to decide if I want this little piece to the back or to the front. It doesn't matter, I'll put it to the back though. Okay, so let's just fold this over so I can see where the edge is. And line it up. And it's going to go down just like that. Okay. Maybe I should use some tacky glue. I think I might. I think I'm going to use tacky glue for this one. Aleene's tacky glue. And I have just taken it out of the original bottle and put it in a different clear bottle so I can see when I'm getting low, for one, because this one is, you can't tell, and also the nozzle is a little bit larger. Hopefully it won't stick on me. Okay. I haven't used it in a while. It might stick. Oh, looks like it's coming out. Okay. And this is a pretty heavy, sturdy piece here, so I'm going to be more than generous with the glue. And then I will bring in a brush and smooth it out. So I don't get any oozing when I put it down. Okay, I think that should do it. Got a little brush here. And I'm just going to make sure I get that right up to the edges. And tacky glue, wet glue, you have a minute to work with it, but this Aleene's, you don't have too long, so I've got to get this in place pretty quickly. Have a little bit of playtime, but not much. Okay. And down we go. Get a piece of paper towel. And make sure there's no glue seeping out of the edges. Clean it up if there is. Just a little bit there. A little there. Just run the finger across the edges. And I'm going to bring in a few clips for those corners. And I have more, I don't know where they are. Okay, I'll hold this one down for a moment. Here's another clip here. Let's use this one. And while that glue is setting, I will take you through my choices of papers. For the most part, I have chosen those unless once I go to sew them in, if I change or decide to add. Okay, close this up. I'm going to push this off to the side, and I have a big coffee cup here with all my pens and scissors. I'm just going to plop that right on top, right in the middle. Okay. For the most part, I've got my signatures ready. All I need to do is trim them down. As you can see, when we do the folding, it pushes the papers out a bit, so I just need to trim those off, or you could leave it if that's if that doesn't bother you. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm going to go ahead and trim them off this time. I have chosen, for the most part, the same papers for each signature, or not every single one of them the same, but similar. Okay. I think I chose 10 pieces for each. Like I said, I don't want this particular journal to get all gator mouthed and bulky on me, so as I'm going through, I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum. So I just have this paper here. This is just a piece of blank white copy paper, and I just did some splattering on it with some Tim Holtz Distress ink, and I just chose, I don't even remember the colors. I did this some time ago. I think it was Rusty Hinge, Pine Needle Green, and Vintage Photo. But there's like 3 colors in there, and I thought that turned out really nice. And it's a larger piece. It's not, it's 8.5 instead of by 11. It's 8.5 by like 16. So I just folded the flaps over on both sides, so it'll give me a little tuck spot. So that's what I plan to do there. A piece of book page. And this I found, I just thought it was cute. I just threw that in there. I don't know if I'm going to use that or not, but I just threw it in there. Coffee dyed paper. I've got some beautiful digital ledger paper from Louise Heinzel's shop on Etsy. Gorgeous pieces there. Threw one of hers in there. Another just random digital of newspaper. Another piece of coffee dyed paper. Another beautiful collaged digital. This one, ooh, I think I got it off of a face group that I'm on. I'm not sure of the group. If I can remember, I will put it down in the description below. I'm in a few different groups, so sometimes I get confused which one's which, but it's one of my Facebook groups. This is one of my digitals there. Another one of Louise Heinzel's beautiful journal pages. Another piece of coffee dyed paper, and then the other side of those pieces. Okay, so that's the other side of that one, the other side of that one. Isn't that pretty? So a few digitals and a few pieces of coffee dyed paper, and just kind of random. Okay, so very pretty. So I just need to trim that off. And then again with this one, this is another one that complements, that goes with this piece. Let me just put that off. Similar but not exactly alike. See, they go the same. Okay, so the tone is a little bit different and the layout is a little bit different on that. So I've got one of those. Again, one of Louise Heinzel's digis from her DigiKit. Coffee dyed paper. Another one that's similar to that piece but not exactly the same. Another piece of my spattered paper, coffee dyed paper. Another one of these ones. Another piece of the ledger paper, and another one of the newspaper print digitals there, and some coffee dyed paper. And then the other side of those. Okay, so it's going to be very small, just 2 signatures. What, 10 pages each. So let's go ahead and get these cut down while I've got them in my hands. Just use my mat. And just trim those edges up. Now when you use it like this and use like a finger blade or an X-Acto knife, it's a good way to do it. The important thing is do not move your fingers, your ruler. Just cut through until you know when you've gotten through all the pages. You can just feel it. And just pull the pieces away, but do not move. Do not take your hands off of there until you're sure, or your papers will move on you. And just go through anywhere from 2, 4, 5, 6 times, however many you need to, depending on how big your signature is, until you get yourself a nice, straight, flush cut. And there we go. Okay, so let's do the other one. Same way. Get your papers lined up. All pushed to the middle. That's nice and snug. And cut. And as you can see this one, it seems like the ends are a little tattered, and it's not so much my cutting. I think my blade is getting a little dull. Okay, there we go. Oh, there. Okay, it was just straggle bits. There we go. Okay, good. So let's take a look at our cover. Clean this up a little bit. And there's our signatures. Nice and straight, nice and even, and good to go. Get that out of the way. Let's see. It's probably not completely dry yet, but hopefully dry enough to where I can work with it a little bit. I don't know. Maybe not. We'll bring another one of these hinge clips in for this corner. And these will go in just like so. And I have about a 1/4 of an inch from the top and a 1/4 of an inch for the bottom, maybe a 1/2 inch. And about actually a 1/2 inch all the way around, about a 1/2 inch. And that's just going to allow me for my closure. So I'm going to have to do a tie closure here at some point. And if I decide to do any lace or trim overhang or any tabs, anything like that, that will give me some extra space for that. Because I really like the cover, and I may want to bring in some of this lace trim to the inside of the journal. So that just is going to allow me about a 1/2 inch all the way around for any overhang. Okay. So I think that's going to be it for today, guys, because that has not set enough for me to really work with it, and I'm going to have to finagle and do some flipping and some turning and everything to get that signature sewn in. So I will stop there and we will continue on this on the next video, okay? But that is where we're looking at for right now. Very nice. Okay. So thank you for spending some time with me today, guys. I truly appreciate it. Until the next video, take care and God bless. Bye-bye.